Hey there, it's time for Wealth and Wellness Wednesday. Wealth and Wellness Wednesday is the show where we show you how to make the connection between your money and your mindset while creating mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional health. I'm your host, Kanae Corder, best-selling author, speaker, and financial therapist. Today, we are on habit number 18. Now, we've been talking about the habits of highly prosperous people, and we are up to number 18, which is delegate. Delegating is a very important part of creating a prosperous life. Now, everything that has to get done does not have to get done by you. What? I know, right? You're like, who says? Because it seems like that to me. Hey, Kanae, have you been in my life? You must not know how I live. I get it. It feels like everything that has to get done by you. But the truth is that isn't true. What you could benefit more if you delegate. Now, habit number 17 was about being self-aware. And part of being self-aware is knowing your strengths and your challenges. Now, here's the novel idea. What if you just delegated those things that you consider challenges in your life? Those things that maybe you're not as good at as somebody else. Now, there are some things that you are just drop dead good at, right? You heard of drop dead gorgeous? Well, I'm talking about drop dead good. Like you're as good at it as Halle Berry is fine. So those things, you don't have to delegate those things. You can do those things yourself. But those things that you're maybe not so good at, like you're a 5 at, delegate them. Who cares? You don't have to do everything. Everything does not have to get done by you in order for you to be successful or prosperous. Now, there are some things that take away from your prosperity. Now, those things, if you want to know, are the things that could actually take up your time that you could be doing income generating activity or quality of life activity. Now, what are some of those things? Like laundry, cleaning, cooking. So some of those things you could delegate. You could hire a chef like my brother, Chef Yasin, and he can cook your meals for you. You could take your clothes to the laundry, or you could have a cleaning person come over and do that. Clean your house and do your laundry. 2 tasks done just like that. Now, of course, you need to put these things in your budget so that you can make sure that you account for them, but they don't necessarily have to get done by you. Because if you put a dollar amount on your time, you know how they say time is money? If you put a dollar amount on your time, how much money are you losing, I guess you could say, by spending time doing those things that you could be delegating? Now, you could also what you don't want to delegate, let's talk about that. You do not want to delegate the quality time with your family, because you can't benefit from that. You can't benefit by giving quality time away. What do I mean by that? Maybe if you enjoy picking your children up from school, yes, it could save you time to have somebody else do that. But if you enjoy it and your children enjoy it, then maybe it's just something that you keep in your schedule, and only you can decide that. Now, if it really does deter you from things that you could really be doing, like let's say you have a meeting at work at 3:00 each day, then you need to go ahead and stick to that meeting. However, if you find that it is weighing on the quality of your life, then you need to figure out a way. Maybe that meeting gets changed if you have any power. And that's something that we'll talk about later, because prosperous people are decision makers. Now, we'll talk about that in a few weeks. But right now we're talking about delegating. So I invite you to make a list of the things you do. Just make a list of the things you do and go down that list and ask yourself, does this add to my quality of life? Does this add to my bottom line? When you ask those 2 questions, if it doesn't add to your quality of life or your bottom line, it's likely that you could delegate it. Now, some of the things I've mentioned in delegating do cost money. And if you're not there yet, then don't do them. Maybe you can then trade off with somebody. Okay, you're good at cleaning. I'm good at this. You clean my house. I'll do this for you, right? The whole thing with picking up the children. Maybe you can carpool with somebody else. Like, okay, you pick up the kids on Tuesday and Thursday, and I do it on Monday and Wednesday, and then we hire somebody to do it on Friday or whatever. So you see what I'm getting at? So there are ways to delegate. You do have to be creative. Now, I know sometimes when you're tired, being creative is tough. So that's why I'm asking you to do this now. If you make these lists, you do these ideas when you are at full capacity, you will tap into your prefrontal lobe, or the logical part of your brain. If you are trying to access your logical brain when you are tired or in an emotional crunch, you may not be able to access it because you'll be in your fight or flight brain, your more primitive brain that says, oh my God, there's a crisis, right? And when we don't delegate, there are more crises. Yeah, they are. And I know you can agree with me on that. So just give me some love. And in the comments, just kind of tell me, what things can you delegate? Think about it. What things can you delegate? Now, I hired earlier this year a social media manager because, one, I'm not that great at social media. And two, because it took up a lot of time for me. I couldn't do it quick enough. So it was taking a lot of time. So I'm here for you on this live Wealth and Wellness Wednesday. But some of the other things that happen on my social media happen because of my social media manager, because she's awesome and she takes really good care of me. One of the other things that I delegated this year, at which I delegate to apps. Now it doesn't have to be people that you delegate to. So I delegate, and I did this not just this year, but last year I delegated some of the work to an app I use. And if you want to know more about it, contact me. I'll tell you all about it. But I use this app and it helps me with my accounting for my business. It helps me with the workflow. So for example, if a client wants a consultation with me, right? They would fill out my form. That form will come straight to me through my email. In the meantime, it sends them another piece of information. I have done nothing. It also sends them an email allowing them to have access to my calendar. Then that link in the email they click on, they go to my calendar, they schedule. They can pay for their appointment. Either I'll invoice them or they can pay online when they schedule immediately. So all of these things were delegated. Now, it used to be that I had to be available to pick up the phone, answer these calls, take the payments, do the payments. And it was a long drawn out process. But by employing this app, this shortened the process. Now, this app also has personal assistance. I have not taken on that part yet, but I am. That is my next goal for 2018 to take on the assistant part of this app. Right now, I'm just using the automated part of it, but I'll also use the personal assistant part of it in just a few months. So you see how easy it can be to delegate. Now, those control freaks out there, I'm probably freaking you out right now. And that makes sense because it does take some, strength probably to let go. Because when you want to keep control over everything, somehow in your mind, you told yourself that you've got to do all the work or it's not right if it's not done by you. But you're going to have to delete that from your brain. You're going to have to let that go because it could still be right and not be done by you. It may not be done the exact way you would have done it, but that does not necessarily make it wrong. So I want you to, and I invite you to explore the idea that there are things that others can do just as good or even better than you. And there are things that you can relinquish control over, even if someone doesn't do it as great as you do, if it does not add to your quality of life or your bottom line. Now, this is our Wealth and Wellness Wednesday idea for today. So think about the things that you can delegate, because by delegating, you can raise your income because you'll have more income generating activity time. You can also raise your quality of life, which then helps you mentally and emotionally and sometimes physically, because one thing you can't delegate is your workout, right? So you've got to go to trainers and nutritionalists, like that stuff you can't delegate. You can't delegate your meals. Nobody can eat for you. So there's certain things that you're not going to be able to delegate, but for those things that you can, go ahead and do that. Now let's talk about those things that you can't delegate, like your workout. If you delegate some other things, you'll have more time to work out. For those of you who like to work out, like me, but I know that might be maybe not your thing. Maybe you like skiing, or maybe you like knitting. Whatever it is that you like, you can free up some time to do that by delegating. You see? So in my book, The Art of Starting Over, I talk about delegating and I talk about it in depth. how it can help you. Now, if you want to do a consultation with me so we can kind of hone in on some things you can delegate, you can do a low-cost consultation with me. There's a link inside this video, and it will take you straight to my calendar so you can schedule time with me. Now, you can schedule a full-on appointment if you like. I would totally enjoy that, meeting you that way. But the consultation a lot of times helps you see if we can work together successfully. So head on over to presidentiallifestyle.com and join our mailing list. You'll get a copy of all of these prosperity habits all in one place. You can also find out how to take the money mentality quiz, because your money mentality is going to determine how you navigate the money cycle. Now, I know this for sure. This I know for sure. If you do not know your money mentality, it's likely that you're going through life setting the same patterns over again. You're doing the same thing, expecting a different result. And it's usually because you are unaware of your money mentality. Once you know your money mentality, you are then aware. That was habit number 17, that self-awareness. And then you can take some action to adjust it, but you first have to know it. And that's why, as part of my consultation with clients, a lot of times the first thing we do is a money mentality quiz. And then after that, we look at your past money history, because your past money history is going to tell me a lot about the patterns. And when I put those two together, your money mentality and your past money history, I can help you heal so that you feel more confident about your future, especially your financial future. And when you feel more confident, then you raise not just your consciousness, but you raise your health, you raise your emotional health, your mental health, and also your physical health, not to mention your monetary health. So that is our Wealth and Wellness Wednesday for today. Stick to the idea of delegating throughout this week and see what else you can accomplish by doing that. Also see what you can incorporate into your life, because you can make and strengthen your relationships when you delegate. Sometimes you've been pushing people away and they've been really wanting to help you. And if you just embrace that help, delegate to them, then you would never know how strong your relationship can be, because people want to support you. It's just that you haven't let them. So just ask. And in fact, sometimes you don't even have to ask. Sometimes people are asking you, how can I help? And you're like, oh, I don't know. No, I don't need any help, right? Has that ever happened to you? So I'm asking you to, when the next time that happens, be ready with your list of things that you can delegate, because you're going to start on it right now. Right after you go to presidentiallifestyle.com and check out our website, and also add to our mailing list so that you can get reminders for this Wealth and Wellness Wednesday video, our 5-minute activation video, and also our blog, weekly blog. So I will see you next Wealth and Wellness Wednesday. And don't forget, in the comments, tell me, what are you going to delegate? I so look forward to hearing from you. I'm Kanae Corder, best-selling author, speaker, and financial therapist, here to serve you with financial therapy. Have a great and prosperous day.